My name is Nia Desoya, and today I'll be talking to you about reputational capital. And many people don't realize that their reputational capital is actually what they need to get more businesses and to be retained doing some businesses and some projects. I remember so many years back, 2010, I had the privilege of speaking at a particular event of a telecoms company in Nigeria, and it was a good performance. There was no doubt about it. And I thought afterwards it's just going to be a roller coaster ride in me getting more jobs and everything. But it didn't happen until after 6 or 8 months. And guess what? The MD fell in love with me, fell in love with my performance, but he was not even ready to give me a job yet until he checked up my reputation. I remember then we were at a function, I just finished speaking, it was a good performance, you know what? There was nothing wrong with my performance. And the man was trying to figure out from all the vice chancellors of the universities that were there and asking them questions like, what do they think about the speaker of the day? And then they had beautiful things to say because before then I've done a lot of stuff for some of the schools, albeit on a pro bono, some of the schools, and then he had a lot of things to say. And then I now realized that after that meeting he had with the vice chancellors, he had to approve other jobs that now ran for 6 years non-stop. Now that tells me something. Performance is not just enough. You must be consistent with your performance and make sure that you have built a reputation of being a performer. So reputational capital is the key. And I always tell people your reputation is even more important than money. So many people, they've gone for money, they go for money, they do not know that in your being too reckless, going for money, it can affect your reputation. Your reputation gives you the right to keep charging money. But if you do not build it deliberately, you will not get anything out of it. Reputational capital is both an intangible asset and a source of strategic competitive advantage that enhances a corporate or individual long-term ability to create value. It enhances your long-term ability to create value. So it's not just about immediate performance, but about talk about the long-term. How do you retain your visibility? How do you retain your relevance? You only retain your relevance by paying close attention to your reputational capital. It is an asset that can be managed, accumulated, and traded in for trust. Legitimization of a position of power and social recognition. And also it gives you the right to charge premium price for your goods and your services that you offer. Now you can see the reason why some people charge big premium prices, why some people charge cheap prices. It's not because of their performance. It's more about their reputation. And then everyone who wants to make something out of life, everyone wants to be relevant and be consistent, and then be somebody who brings in more income into his organization, must be very, very careful about how they build this reputational capital. Now, in talking about reputational capital, we need to look at it from different dimensions, because sometimes you may think you have a particular reputation. I'm reputable, I'm reputable this and that, but you need to put it vis-a-vis what we call the reputation and the reality gaps. Now, most people do not realize that it's one thing for you to think you're good. It's a different ball game if we think that you're good. So you need to check out the reality on ground. And how do you check out the reality on ground? You can send a questionnaire to people who like you. Make sure they don't have to write their names. And then you get the feedback as many people as possible. Let them tell you who they are. You know, recently I posted something on Facebook trying to figure out how do people perceive my brand. Then I realized that they didn't perceive my brand as being sophisticated. I mean, they said I was knowledgeable, I was a performer, but I wasn't sophisticated. And you know what it means? If your brand is not perceived to be, you don't have this sophistication when it comes to your reputational capital, you may not be able to charge premium prices. So based on that, I have to do something about that. In other words, I may think I'm good. I can pull this amount, I can pull this premium price, but people do not see you as a very sophisticated person. So you may just be somebody who will go down into the masses and the last tier of marketing, which is the third tier of marketing, and be doing stuff like that. But you know that that's not what the game that I want to play. I want to play in the sophisticated, I mean the high net worth individual. Now, if you're going to be in the high net worth individual and then you do not have, what's it called, if you're not perceived to be sophisticated, that means you're not there yet. So I had to come to terms with that reality. And once I came to terms with that reality, I had to do something about bridging that gap that I've done successfully right now, because now I charge premium prices for my product. And then the second gap you need to also bridge is what I call the reputational and performance gap. You know, many of us, we think some people are good. People may say, wow, you're good. You have the reputation to be good. And when people move close to you, they now realize that, come on, that guy is not good. He's not a good performer. He's not even doing very well and everything. So once you put that reputation, or you're able to deceive people with a particular kind of reputation that you're good, but you have not closed the performance gap, when people move close, they get disappointed. And I'm telling you, that could even be very, very, very dangerous for your brand, dangerous for your reputation, because a bad word can ruin a lot of things that you've done in time past. So before you start presenting yourself as an excellent person, make sure that you have excellence in your performance. Make sure you've done so well about whatever you do. Make sure you are churning out good products, good services, and you have content and value to give to people. Because if you do not have the content, you don't have the value to give to people. And once they move close to you and they see that there's a gap between your reputation and your performance, that is a no-no. It may be very, 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 very difficult to bounce back. And then the third one I want to talk about, the gap I want to talk about that you need to fill up, is what I call reputation and perception gap. Perception. When they say perception is everything, perception is reality. And then you must be careful about the way people perceive you. You must be careful, you must be deliberate about the way people perceive you. That means, you know what, when you say you're going to do this, you have the reputation for this, where are you always been found? Where do you hang out? Who do you hang out with? Who do you talk with? And everything, because that's absolutely important. You can tell us that you have a premium brand and then you are everywhere around some low income places. If you're there for CSR, not there to hang out and everything, because that will affect the perception of the people. So, and then, you know, I read a book so many years back, and I can't really remember the title of the book, but the guy defined marketing as very powerful. I mean, just one sentence, short, powerful sentence. He said, marketing is managing perception. Marketing is managing perception. So everyone who wants to have a reputation that they decide and desire, or an intentionality towards their reputational capital, they must know how to manage people's perception. So you must know how to do that. So the fourth one I want to mention about the gap that you need to bridge is the gap between your reputation and that communication. You see, communication right now has been democratized. You know, you don't need the traditional media to get yourself to be seen by the whole world. Social media is definitely a disruption. So you need to know how to play that game over there. And you need to know what the people want. Not what you want. Not what you want, what the people want to see. You know, so many of us, if you're like me, we always want to play safe. It's not about showing off. It's not about making them see this. Let's do this in the privacy of our homes. You know, it's not about what they see. It's more about what you have in your bank account. But that may not sustain the bank account. Before you know what's happening, you will now be depleting the bank account. So you need to be out there and show the people what they want to see. You don't go to fish on your terms. You go to fish on the fish terms. On the you don't go there to don't offer them what you like to eat. You offer the fish what they like to eat, and that's just the basic truth. So you must know how to communicate effectively, and then also that's one of the reasons why I always advise people that learning how to speak publicly, it's absolutely important for you to build your reputation. Because the more you communicate publicly, the more influential you become. Especially if you did a good job, you talked very well, you spoke very well, people are wowed, and that people have you blew their mind to go, what's this guy coming from? Who is he? Now it enhances your reputation every now and then when you mount the stage. So every one of us, no matter your profession, no matter your career, you must know that speaking in public, communicating effectively in public is very, very important. Social media, don't forget, and content. Your social media must be content driven, and also must be a little bit of vanity driven also, because the world that we're in is very vain. So you must have a little bit of that vanity aspect of it, but make sure it's more content driven. And not just that, like I said, communication also involves you speaking publicly, public speaking. You need to go and learn how to do that. And luckily for us, we have a convention coming up every year right now, but the first one is called the Speakers Convention on the 1st and 2nd of November. You can just send a text message or call the number that you show on your screen, and then you get to know more about the Speakers Convention. I mean, everybody, whether you are a doctor, lawyer, and lawyers are even supposed to speak every time though. So I mean, anything that you do, you must know how to speak, because the more you speak, the more you communicate, the more you bridge that gap between your reality and your communication gaps. Before you start going and say that, let me go close all these doors, or let me just go bridge all these gaps, let me find something to do. Before you start doing that, hold on a little bit. Hold on a little bit. Just chill, calm down, Listen to this. You cannot build a solid reputation outside your personal core values. If you try to build a reputation of being excellent, and excellence is not part of your core values, forget it. You're going to fail woefully. So you have to look at it. What are my core values? What are the values that I want to be known for? So before you go tell us about this are the values that I want to be known for, or these are the reputational values I want to be known for, you first build those things in you. Make it a personal thing. Make it an ethos. Make it part of your life. Make it part of your thinking. Make it part of everything you do. Because if it is not in everything you do, and you make us believe you are an excellent person, and then when we come near you and we don't see anything that speaks excellent, it's going to be very, very, very disastrous. And the boomerang, you will never like it. So first, your core values. It has to come from your values, personal values. It has to come from your culture, your personal culture, your organizational culture. How do you think? How do your people think? Do you believe so much in yourself? I mean, the customs, the normal things that you do, your objective for life, your vision statement for life. Who are you? Those are the things that will that should form the bedrock of any reputation you want to build. Actually, those core values should influence the product and services you churn out. I repeat that. Those core values should influence the products and the services you release out to the general public. It's when you release those products and services that people can now begin to draw close to you. And guess what? Those products and those services should be speaking about the values that you represent. The values that you represent. And then once you've done that, and then you can now add this fourth level, which is experience. Now you don't tell us that you have values, you have products, you have services, you have values, but you must make us experience it. And how do you make us experience it? You must really be ready to go out of your way to make sure that we experience it in a very grand and mind-blowing style. Once you do that in a mind-blowing style and a grand style, you know what, guy? You know what, my friend? You will give us a very lasting experience. Reputations are built based on value, but at the same time, reputations are strengthened based on experience. We must experience you. You must be out there. You must be doing great things. You must be doing inspirational things, not just anything, but inspirational things. Because the more inspirational things you do, the more we fall in love with you, the more we fall in love with you, the more we raise your reputational capital. And don't worry, if you have some questions to ask me, and my email will be there, and then you can even boss me straight, and then we can have a chat. And then if possible, we can also sit down and help you to map out a strategy where you can build your reputation very well. Whether for yourself as an individual or for your organization, we have a lot of things that can be of great benefit to you. Just boss me, send me a mail, send me a direct message, or just send me something. Let's talk. Let's keep the conversation going. We can make it more personal based on you, and then we can help you bring out your values and what you need to do to build up a good reputation that can command respect, a good reputation that can make people always want to do business with you. But before I go, let me just say this, that you may not have a strong reputation, a good reputation. Let me say strong reputation, but you can always borrow from people who's got strong reputation or good reputation. Sometimes you lose your reputation, and then if you have associated yourself with some people who have very valuable, strong reputation, there's a way they can cover you up and make you bring out the best also in you. And then they just are there for you. People looking at you, this guy messed up, but we love Mr. A. Mr. A's got strong reputation, and then Mr. A's reputation can help you and mitigate the crisis that you are in. That's why I always advise people to get into networks. That's why I always advise people to get into association. That's why I always advise people to build solid relationship up, down, and horizontally and vertically. You must build relationship, associations, and network. Why not check out my network? It is called the Speakers Network, and let us see how far we can go together as individuals. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. I just hope I didn't bore you. I was able to add value to you. Till I come again next time, I remain your very good friend. And you know what? I believe in you. My name is Nia Desai. Love you.